Point of today's little session is to talk a little bit about protein, carbs, fats, all those macros that get you down. Things that people don't necessarily think about or count. I mean, I don't really count mine. I count my protein, I count my fats. But at the moment, I am looking at my carbs, which is unusual for me because I'm not, as I say, on the rowing machine all the time at the moment. I'm just on the bike, trying to stay fit whilst my back gets better. So what it's enabled me to do is to look at my carbs a little bit, and what I've found is that from personal experience, it doesn't necessarily work from everyone. Some people want to lose like half a pound a week, sensibly, a pound a week. I can't really do that. Like, I need to go all in or not at all. That's just the way I am. So what I go for at the moment, over the past 3 weeks, is going for about 1 to 2 pounds a week. I think it's good for me. I've done that through carb cycling, and so I've had 3 low days. I've had 2 medium days and 2 high days, and then every 2 weeks I'm sort of having a cheap meal, not a cheap day. So my low day is the 2 low days or 3 low days, whatever you prefer to do. I bring it down to around 200 to 250 grams of carbs in that day, just because I'm burning it on the bike as well. I'm spending 2 hours a day on the bike, and that's almost 1,000 calories there, right there. So it's a lot. I've got a lot of aerobic stuff going on. So 200 to 250 on a low day for me, I think is pretty low. Just depends on your body weight, your size. But I'm about 201, 202 pounds at the moment. In old, that's in old money. It's 14 and a half stone, or about 90, 91 kilos if that's what you like. So I find that on the low days that it's good, and I get all that from sort of things like spinach and sweet potato and brown rice. I'm just vegetables really. And I've cut out all my breads and all my refined grains and all things like that. Those sort of processed carbohydrates have gone completely out the window for me. Medium days, I'm pushing up to the 275 grams of carbs, and then a high day, 300 to 320, but that's only twice a week. And I find that that's really worked for me because I've interspersed the low days with the high days and the medium days in the middle. And what that's allowed me to do is that's allowed me to tailor that in with my cardio session. We train Monday, we train Tuesday, we train Wednesday, we train Thursday, day off on Friday, and Saturday, Sunday. So what I've done is I've gone low day on the Friday where it's a day off. Don't need the carbs, don't need the calories, not going to burn the calories, so just leave them out. Then on a Wednesday, I've also had another low day. Saturday and Sunday, where I've sort of been my higher days because I get out and about and doing more. I'm not just sat in lectures, but I'm also done 2 hours on the bike, so they could be my high days. So I am moving about a lot, and I can afford to have a couple of high days on the weekend. And then the medium days are interspersed around that, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday in there. And I find that that's really worked for me. That's dropped me over 3 weeks. That's dropped me 5.5 pounds, almost 6 pounds. Hopefully next week another 2 pounds will come off. And just getting my protein really from really good, good clean sources, like fish. Eating a lot of fish at the moment. Sort of whether it's from frozen. I do like salmon. Tried tilapia. I'm not a fan of tilapia, but it is good. It's a good source of protein. It's very clean to eat. Chicken, turkey, and then on my higher days, I've been having where I've got a bit more fat in there. I've been looking at the red meats and steaks and things like that, and that's worked well for me. Fats. I've tried to stick to the good fats. I'm not eating heavy fatty food on high days of fat, but if you can, what I try to do, guys, is I try to cut the fat off things. So I cut fat off the steak and then cook it. I mean, I've got a George Foreman grill, brilliant. I can cook without fat. I can just sprinkle some seasoning on, still tastes good, no problem. Cooks 3 times as fast as well. Anyway, does what it says on the tin, sort of thing. And yeah, that's basically how I keep the fat low on the meat side of things. But I do get some good fats in from nuts and seeds, and I like nuts and seeds actually. They're not salted. I don't go for the salted. That's not in the rule book for me. But the nuts are really good. In terms of supplement, I've been using for quite a while. Was using My Protein, Impact Whey, and because they were a batch tested sport, switched to SIS for a bit, and I got a bad back, so I wasn't necessarily going to be trialing for Great Britain this year. So I've gone back to the My Protein. It's a little bit cheaper, and it's a whey isolate, and it's good. I think that works for me. A couple of servings of that twice a day. It's good. If I wanted something with a few more carbs in it after a workout, which I'm not lifting at the moment, then there's a new For Goodness Shakes range of protein drink. 25 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbs. A couple of BCAAs in there as well. BCAAs, good for maintaining that muscle balance when you're trying to lose weight. You're trying to keep that lean tissue that you've worked so hard to get. It's important that you keep that, especially when you're doing heavy cardio. If you're a cyclist and you know, and you want to keep that muscle strong and you don't want to burn all that muscle off, then it's good to keep those BCAAs high and taking them in. It's good. It's worth it. It's worth it. Otherwise, you've wasted all that effort that you've got to get the size that you wanted. For any rowers out there, it's the same. You know, you do a lot of lifting, do a lot of cardio, so you've got to make the lifting worth it. If you want to put the muscle on, you've got to keep it on, and the way to keep it on is to supplement things like your BCAAs where you can, and your protein, things like that. So that's what I do at the moment. Just keeping it really nice and simple at the moment. Nothing too drastic. Don't want to go on any smash diet that's just going to drop me down and come back up. Just want to do it nice and gradually. This is one of the first times I've ever done a proper sort of dieting and put things into practice. So I'm just finding out what works for me. Might not work for you, but I'd say give it a try. Certainly give the carb cycling a try. I'm not really into saying if it fits your macros, then that's good. I think you've got to get the right stuff in. You know, you can't just have a Big Mac for the day and then say it's fit my macros, it's fine. Then I'd class that as a cheat. So that sort of concludes today's video on the macro side of things. Quite brief, quite short, but it's just to give you an insight into what I'm doing. I'm doing the carb cycling, keeping the carbs different throughout the week, keeping the protein nice and high, keeping the fats medium to low. Don't want to go too low on the fats because you need the fat. You need the fat. You need the fat to burn. You need to process all that goodness in the fats. It's just gives you that extra bit of energy when you're down training at steady state. And that's what you're going to burn. You're going to burn the fat when you're doing that. Cardio, I do lots of distance just because it keeps my aerobic levels high. If you haven't got the time, do the high intensity intervals training. That's good as well. But I say you just got to burn the calories. It's whatever burns the calories the best way. If you've got time to do 2 hours on the bike like me, do 2 hours on the bike. But if you don't, then the high intensity interval training stuff does burn the pounds away. You know, it's good. But don't go doing 30 minutes of high intensity interval training. That's not what it's about. You know, 5 minutes rest and then a minute interval here. Just do 10 intervals. Do 20 seconds, perhaps on an incline running or incline walking or even cycling. Switch the cardio up, but do 20 seconds flat out, hard as you can, minutes rest. 20 seconds again, minutes rest, and do that 10 times and see how that works for you with the carb cycling. Alright guys, that concludes that one today. Thanks very much. See you again soon.